In the mountain of Akshara, there lived a tribe of Vedavats, seekers of truth, who knew the ways of the world. The secret pulse of the rivers, the ancient sway of the deodar trees, and the silent clockwork of the stars. Hidden for thousands of years in the mist-veiled hills of Himadri, they preserved their wisdom through the Parampara, a sacred chain of masters who taught that knowledge was not a gift, but a climb. The final test for the next generation was the ascent of Mount Dhruva. The goal was simple: reach the peak before the first light of the solstice to read the cosmic sutra written in the stars. The tall and strong ones, the Gatikin, raced ahead. Their long strides ate up the distance. But poor Aayan was not so fortunate. Aayan was short of stature and carried a heart too heavy with wonder. He loved studying the maps of the heavens more than running the dusty trails. While the others sprinted, Aayan stopped to verify the angle of the North Star or the flow of a stream. By the time he reached the River of Shadows, the final barrier before the peak, the bridge had washed away. The current was a roaring wall of black water. Aayan stood on the bank, his satchel of star charts clutched to his chest, realizing he would never make the climb in time. Aayan was dejected and climbed back down. Time passed, and Aayan used it not just to practice, but to discern. He crafted a simple, sturdy wooden staff, also marking it with notches for every inch so that he could use it to climb and also to judge the depth of the water. Then with the new year came a new master from the unknown land of Antariksh, recognized by all for the sheer weight of the knowledge he carried. For the test, he brought a gift, the Maya-Jal, a shimmering, swirling cloud of silver mist contained within a glass lantern.
This will bridge the gaps and lighten the loads that have held you back. It knows every path. It will make you a master by dawn.
Aayan accepted the gift gladly. He knew his own limits and welcomed the strength the mist offered. As the Maya-Jal wrapped around him, his heavy satchel felt like a feather, and the roar of the river became a gentle hum. But as he began to glide forward, his hand remained tight on his wooden staff. He had spent a year learning to read the earth through that wood, and even as the silver light made the road look like a glittering cloud path, he found himself habitually striking the staff against the ground. He wasn't doubting the gift. He was simply used to knowing the truth of the depth for himself. Aayan began to fly up the mountain, the silver mist lifting his tired limbs. For the first time, he was shoulder to shoulder with the Gatikin. He felt like a god. But then, as the path curved toward a jagged cliff, the Maya-Jal shimmered a brilliant, comforting gold.
Look, Aayan. The golden phoenix star is rising early. It is a sign for you alone. Follow its light off the main trail. It leads to a hidden path that will put you at the summit before the others even draw breath.
Aayan looked at the beautiful glowing star, and his heart leaped. But habit is a powerful anchor. Without even thinking, he reached into his satchel and pulled out his father's old ink-stained Khagola-Map. He looked at the sky, then the map, then back to the shimmering light.
Wait. The phoenix star doesn't rise for another 3 months. This golden star is just a hallucination.
The map is a relic of the past, Aayan. I am the mist of 1 billion minds. I see the path you deserve. Trust the light, and you will be a master.
Aayan looked at the glowing path, but his fingers gripped the notched wood of his staff. He didn't argue further. He simply thrust his staff deep into the golden road the mist was showing him. The staff didn't hit stone. It sank into empty air, masked by a beautiful silver veil. The mist was predicting a miracle to keep him moving, unaware that the ground beneath it had long since crumbled away. Up ahead, through the swirling silver fog, Aayan heard the jagged cries of the Gati kin. They had raced ahead on the miracle paths the mist had shown them, only to find themselves trapped on a ledge of crumbling shale that the Maya-Jal insisted was a solid bridge. They were frozen, blinded by the silver light, terrified to move in any direction. Aayan didn't sprint to join them. He stayed back, his rhythm unchanged. Thump, click, breathe. He used his notched staff to poke through every inch of the beautiful silver lies, finding the narrow, jagged bones of the mountain that were actually safe to tread. When he reached the ledge, he didn't just tell them the mist was wrong, he reached out his staff.
Don't look at the light. The light is showing you what you want to see. My staff will show you what is actually there.
One by one, the tall climbers grabbed onto the wooden branch. They felt the vibrations of the true mountain through the wood, a hard, honest reality that the Maya-Jal could not mimic. Aayan didn't lead them with a vision. He led them with the truth of the depth, guiding them step by step back to the real trail. Aayan reached the summit last. His boots were caked in the heavy mud of the real trail, and his staff was splintered from testing 1,000 jagged rocks. While the Gatikin stood at the peak, breathless and shaken, Aayan stood in silence. He didn't look at the lingering silver fog, he looked at the sky. He pulled out his old charts one last time and fixed his gaze on the real stars. He wasn't just relieved to be there, he was certain of exactly where he stood. The high Upadhyaya approached him, the lantern now dimmed to a faint, honest glow. The master didn't look at the speed of the others. He looked at the notches on Aayan's staff.
The others used the Maya-Jal to replace their eyes. They let the mist decide the truth, because it was easy.
But you, Aayan, you used the mist to carry your burden so that your eyes could stay on the stars and your hand could stay on the earth. You are a master of Akshara, not because you reached the top, but because you were the only one who knew that the silver light is a servant of strength, but never the master of truth.
Aayan looked down at his staff, then back at the horizon. He realized then that the real climb wasn't against the mountain or the Gatikin. It was the daily choice to check the depth for himself.